There are some people, I know, I'm not keeping the conversation coming, but there are some people hating on the 279. Well, I don't understand. What's the problem? They needed a phone number.
They ran out of 916s.
Yeah, what's the problem? Leave them alone. Unless there's something I'm missing here. It felt like there was maybe something I was missing in the Keith Smith article as far as Keegan Murray.
Senor segue strikes again.
Keegan Murray is concerned. Now, I read off what Keith had to say when he talked to a Sacramento front office executive. I read that off, and yesterday I felt good about it. And it's not that I feel bad about it now, but having some more time to kind of marinate and reread it after the show ended, there are some reasons, I think, to at least keep an eye on it. I'm not even going to say concerned, but keep an eye on it. We talked about Keon Ellis, and now we're going to discuss Keegan Murray. And this is from the article from Keith Smith on Keegan Murray and a possible extension. We're so happy with Keegan and his development. He's had a tough role every year, really. As a rookie, we asked him to shoot a lot more. Last year, he was often the fourth or fifth option. For a young guy, that can be hard to adjust to. But to his credit, Keegan never balked. We feel like he's a top defender as his position and the offense is there. It's on us to make sure we don't let him go too long without getting involved, a Kings front office executive said. As far as an extension goes, Keegan and his reps know how we feel about him. We're hopeful that we can get something done that keeps him in Sacramento for a long time. And even yesterday I said I would have liked that to sound a little bit more urgent, sound a little bit more immediate. But now that we're here and it kind of is what it is, I'll say this from the Keegan Murray breakdown of it. Is it possible that they don't view Keegan as highly as we think? And the reason I say that is because if you want to prioritize somebody, you're going to prioritize somebody. And the same way I picked out a line in what they said about Keon Ellis, I'm going to do the same thing here with Keegan Murray. It's on us to make sure we don't let him go too long without getting involved. That's when they brought up the offense. You have two guys right now in Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan top 20 in field goals attempted. Zach LaVine with top 26 field goals attempted. Okay? We know that DeMar DeRozan, not a guaranteed contract next season. Zach LaVine, on the other hand, he's guaranteed $50 million, assuming that he opts in, and why wouldn't he? So they're saying one thing, and I know you don't want to just remove DeMar DeRozan for a bag of peanuts. The guy's a Hall of Famer. But they're saying one thing, but how are they going to fix that this season? Are they going to play DeMar DeRozan less? You can't really play Zach LaVine less. You're paying him $50 million. Do they believe that Dennis Schroeder is going to be able to orchestrate things so that the ball is not going to be in DeMar DeRozan's hand as much? How are they going to prevent this? And I likened it to one of the great movies that everybody loves, right? When you look at young players, and it's the same idea with Jonathan Kuminga, which is why he probably won't take the qualifying offer because of how time works in the NBA. I'm going to reference a movie that everybody loves. It seems like it is re-released into theaters every single year, and that's Interstellar with Anne Hathaway. All right? Everybody loves Interstellar and the famous scene where he's banging on the ship. And it reminded me of the NBA. Because the NBA, if you remember, Miller's Planet, right? If you've seen Interstellar. So on Miller's Planet, basically for every hour spent on Miller's planet, approximately 7 years pass on Earth. That's what the NBA is, right? One season in the NBA is like 5 years in normal reality. This no! That's definitely been used with somebody in the 916 or 279 saying, and it's a picture of them putting on their Chris Webber jersey, choosing to be a Kings fan.
I've seen that local guy Drew make that joke probably like 5 times a month. So, like anytime something gets brought up about De'Aaron Fox, yes, it's just this gif.
Matthew McConaughey just banging on it. Just banging on the ship, right? And time doesn't move the same in the NBA. When you're 26 in normal life, the world is at your fingertips. You are a young stud. You are a young lady. Your whole life is ahead of you. When you're 26 in the NBA, people are starting to wonder, who are you? People were wondering that with Jake LaRavia, who's 23, and he's going to get an opportunity on the Lakers, but his option doesn't get picked up. That contract situation with the Grizzlies, he's ended up on the Kings, and now he's fighting to finally get that life-changing contract after this go-round, relatively speaking, of course. But if you are willing to sacrifice another year, assuming you pay Keegan Murray and you extend him, if you are okay with sacrificing, once again, Keegan Murray's what, 4th year now, and he's going to be, right now he's 24, and he's going to be 25, and then he's going to, obviously, after that, be heading into his 5th season all of a sudden at 26 with nothing on his resume as far as being a top, 3 option, definitely not a top 2 option. That kind of tells me that you're not prioritizing him as much as you should. With Jabari Smith Jr. and the Rockets, that's okay. You know why? Because they're fighting for championships with Kevin Durant. That's not okay for a team with a total win estimation of 34.5. That's not okay. No! That's not okay. That's not how this is supposed to work. No! You're not supposed to sacrifice your young talent to be a 7 or an 8 seed.
Yeah, if Jabari Smith Jr. gets moved to the bench, do you know who he's going to get moved for? Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Tari Eason, also another very good young player. And they also have 3 centers, right? So they might play Şengün and Adams. They might play Şengün and Clint Capella.
Yes.
They might play. Yes. They might do all of that.
Yes. In addition to that, you deciding again not to play or not prioritize, because Keegan is going to start. Not prioritize your young talent in the same way. It just goes back to, what are we doing here? What are you trying to accomplish? And Scott Perry walked into a situation where, yes, you're not going to send DeMar DeRozan off for betting Terry Rozier and 2 seconds. It's really hard to do that. But it would help you prioritize Keegan Murray and see what you have. Because right now, you're going to hinder Keegan Murray's growth at what cost? 34.5 wins. And you can blow it out the water, fine. If people say, Allen, stop saying that, we don't care about Vegas. Okay, cool. 44.5 wins. And you probably lose in the second round. You lose in the first round. You can lose in the second round. Would you still say it's worth it? No! Right? No! This is you putting on your Keegan Murray jersey as a child 4 years ago.
You could literally say that for me. Me and Keegan are the same age.
So I just, when I read it again, okay, cool. They're saying the right things, but actions speak louder than words. And I'm not saying to just get rid of DeMar DeRozan. I'm not saying that. And it remains to be seen how they make sure Keegan Murray is featured more. But you cannot waste another year of Keegan Murray as a soft third option, more of a fourth option. So DeMar DeRozan can take 20 shots a game and be top 20 in field goal attempts, and Zach LaVine be 26, and maybe you sneak into the playoffs. That doesn't feel like a good use of anybody's time or money if you do extend Keegan Murray. So they're saying the right things. This year is so big because it's going to show all of us what exactly Scott Perry's plans are. If they do make the playoffs, because that's the thing. We don't have to. I know things are different in Sacramento, and the past is the past. But even if they make the playoffs, Scott Perry could say, yeah, that what he really should say is if we blow out our 34.5 wins and we make it to the playoffs and we lose in the first round, we've hit our ceiling. So as much as I keep saying, I'm saying this based on what we've seen. They're probably going to try to find a way to run it back and tweak it. What they really should do is say, yeah, we just played out of our mind for a season. Now it's time to blow it up because it ain't getting better than that. I don't think that's what they'll do, though. So they cannot sacrifice Keegan Murray. They cannot. And some of these moves that they're making to remain competitive now, let's hope it doesn't bite them in the butt. Even if they don't lose Keegan, his development. The other name I was going to bring up, Michael Porter Jr. They sacrificed Michael Porter. They still paid him. They sacrificed Michael Porter Jr.'s growth, deep playoff runs, a championship. That is why you sacrifice growth. The Rockets going to sacrifice probably Jabari Smith Jr.'s growth, even though they just paid him. They are going to be really good, we assume. They profile to be very good, to be a 2 seed. That is why you sacrifice. And the Rockets have so much talent, they're going to have to sacrifice somebody's growth. The Kings, you only got a couple, and you're playing with fate on one of them with Keon Ellis, and you are hindering the other with Keegan Murray.
Meanwhile, you're one Keegan Murray injury away from Drew Eubanks starting at power forward.
Yes. Or Kyle's boy, Dario Saric. That's where we're at.
No!
Yeah, no.
No! No! There is someone on the text line that's just been yelling that the entire time. Someone listening is just listening this segment and just screaming.
You can't.
No! 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 No!
12 o'clock hour coming up next. What grade would you give Scott Perry so far? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story.